What's going on? Welcome back to Random Binder Scraps. This is Chris coming at you with another one, and today is a slightly belated my favorite games and announcements from Xbox's Tokyo Game Show. And yeah, nothing too crazy, honestly. I went pretty into depth on the latest state of play, and I figured instead I would cherry pick my top 3 favorite games I'm most excited about coming out of that show, along with a couple honorable mentions of things that aren't necessarily like the biggest needle movers, but it got me excited nonetheless. So to kick things off, the first honorable mention is the Overwatch 2 and My Hero Academia collaboration. I'm not really. I've never. First of all, barely a multiplayer guy to begin with. Overwatch 1 for Xbox One was really like my big foray. And other than that, it was Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops and a little bit of Modern Warfare 3 in the 360 days. But like suck at Halo. Of course, I just got a haircut and I'm all over the place. Not great at multiplayer. Definitely don't like being on mic. So obviously, if you've checked out, I doubt it, but if you checked out the main channel of Round and Binder, I checked out the finals on the first day that launched, and it was fun, but it's just like it takes out of me like an hour and a half of multiplayer gaming. Just isn't the same as an hour and a half into like a single player game that I'm chipping away at. So there's so many games I want to play that, you know, to go like 1 in 10 in like a multiplayer game just doesn't really call me. I'm not that good at these. But that being said, I've also never bought a skin in my life. I think that even stretches to mobile games. I don't think I bought anything in Clash of Clans. None of the Marvel stuff, none of like Overwatch, no, like, yeah, none of these games have I bought any skins or anything like that in. But that being said, I love My Hero Academia. I recorded a episode of Checkpoint that was all about me catching up on My Hero Academia. So this was just really cool to see. You know, it looks awesome, and even if it's just for a couple of games, I did want to jump back into Overwatch 2 for, you know, the last couple months / weeks until I lose my soul completely to Marvel Rivals in December. So but it would be like a fitting swan song for my relationship with Overwatch. You know, there's nothing to say I won't go back, but I barely touched Overwatch 2, to be honest. So, but I would consider checking out just for the Reaper as Shigaraki and Reinhardt as All Might are 2 like my favorite things I've ever seen. They fit so well and they're exciting. Like Tracer as Deku is pretty cool as Midoriya, but you know, I just don't really use Tracer, and it's kind of weird. It looks strange, but All Might as Reinhardt as All Might is just that level of like goofy and like transformative, but still keeping that original character design that it doesn't look that weird. So yeah, shout out to a great crossover. That and the I don't know if the Transformers one has come and gone, but that was one I actually had my eye on as well. But you know, my last Google search before, if this is my last time using Google, the FBI will know that I was looking up, can you buy Overwatch currency, or do you have to earn it in game? So they're trying to make a whale out of me yet. But yeah, who knows? I might just hold out for Marvel Rivals. But it was cool to see. So I'll have to update the channel if I end up hopping into Overwatch 2 and getting these skins. But next honorable mention is probably like the most excited I was during the conference, which was the game Threads of Time. It was an amazing showing, but we also don't ultimately know what we saw. You know, the concept super strong, the split seconds of traversal and like the like 2-frame animation of potential combat. It looked absolutely stunning, but it was more of like a tone setting trailer, and I can't ultimately trust it until I see like a lot more in-engine stuff in the future. So like a good gameplay, you know, a minute, like even just 30 seconds of uninterrupted gameplay, I'd much prefer. Like, I'm in marketing, I know what y'all are doing, and intersplicing like the hand-drawn anime stuff is like, it was beautiful, and I hope that it's kind of like a nod to the Chrono Trigger port for PS1 and for Nintendo DS, where they had those like hand-drawn, those like not hand-drawn, but the anime Akira Toriyama cutscenes that looked like Dragon Ball. But We don't know. That's probably just marketing. Like, we've seen a lot of trailers that look like that end up just being like top, like isometric, whatever. You know, even mobile games use that type of animation. So, that being said, if the footage of them walking and in combat is, you know, footage in quotes, if that's in engine, this might be one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen, and is sure to be like a day one game for me and the game of the show in the future. It's like Chrono Trigger in the style of Sea of Stars meets Octopath HD 2D engine on absolute steroids. So crazy, the juxtaposition of like the small, not quite chibi, like chunky pixel characters and the vibrant backgrounds is just so crazy. It looks so good. And yeah, we'll see if those like that animation style carries over into anything in the final game. I doubt it, but it could be a nod to Chrono Trigger. So yeah, I said this will be the game of the show someday, but for right now, it's an honorable mention until we know that it's not fake. So fool me once. But the third and final honorable mention is something that I didn't even watch, which is Metaphor was there. I'm sure it looked great. I had my hands over my eyes and ultimately skipped this section because I want to be media blackout and just experience the game through my own point of view. It's the first Atlas game I will ever beat. You know, I loved what I played of Persona 5, but I was playing on Game Pass. You know, I tried it multiple times, and that'll be a game for another day. Just knowing it's like 100 hours is so daunting. But this is a new thing, a brand new IP, brand new franchise. I don't have to have any prior knowledge, and I'm absolutely thrilled to start it next week. So can't wait. Honorable mention, just for being there, just for its existence being shown. All right, so that kicks us on over to the top 3 games of the show. For me personally, I'm not saying objectively, just like for my taste, and it did surprise me a little bit because it's a weird list for me. Long story short, I'm into like the God of War, Zelda, Mario, Horizon, what else? Gears, Mass Effect. Like, those are all my bread and butter. Pokemon, and so we got a multiplayer game, a kind of obscure JRPG, cozy, semi-crafting, semi-cozy series, and a title we'll save for the last, but definitely wouldn't have been my preference a couple years ago. Number 3 is FRAGPUNK. Who says hero shooters can't be creative? There's gonna be a lot of like unintentional subliminals at Concord here, but as I was kind of fleshing out my thoughts, it was you know, I was like, oh, how great it is to have like what I think, at least, I haven't read any of the feedback, but what I think is original character design and compelling, you know, compelling visual design for these characters. Even honestly, if they have all bland characters, just the idea of like the cards and like the effects and stuff gives me such like cheat codes and like special modes from like the N64 generation of split screen multiplayer shooters and stuff like that. And you know, the big head mode obviously makes me think of James Bond 007 GoldenEye for N64, and you know, the turtle shell thing. They're all just so goofy. It reminds me of like in between like the GameCube and the Wii generation as well, just like that stretch of 3 consoles of like the creativity, but with this like beautiful third-party polish to it. So I'm super excited for it. You know, excited enough that I paused the stream to sign up for the closed beta. And like I said earlier, like other than the finals, which was literally like, free, and like I was really gung-ho about getting like gameplay videos up on the main channel. It was fascinating. So it's very creative. It looks stunning to me. Hopefully it plays well, and I'll find out if I get up into the closed beta. But genuinely hoping for success, and really fingers crossed that it is better received than Concord, better received than Concord was in terms of the character design department, and definitely like hopefully it's like a $30 price point or lower. If it's free to play, great, but they would have said it by now if it was free to play. I think it's pay to play, but I'm fine with that as long as it's not like 40. It would be a bit steep. I would probably try to get a cheaper key, but especially because I don't know how it'll run on my hardware, but we'll see. FRAGPUNK, shout out to you. You snuck your way into my heart. I wasn't sure what to think of you in the summer showcase, but here we are. You're in the top 3 games of the show. Number 2 is Atelier YUMIA. Atelier YUMIA. I never thought I'd say that for multiple reasons. One, I feel like I haven't said the word Atelier out loud before, and B, I put in my notes it's like part of a subgenre, which it's not really like a defined subgenre, but the Atelier games and the Rune Factory games are like this like Switch, 3DS, PS2, like these series that like are so popular and so big on like RPG YouTube and like retro gaming YouTube and Switch YouTube. I just have I'm such a blind spot. I didn't even really know about them until like some of the directs. I'm like, what the hell? But I was never sure if I was going to join the fray on these games specifically and on the Atelier series of games. And I've since gone on a deep dive of like all the different titles, the trilogies, and all that, how it's all connected. And you know, I've been tempted. I've been on the fence. I was like, oh, this would be a great first Atelier game, and I can always go back. And that's usually my style for things. Is like I'll try the new thing, and then if I like it, I'll go back. And without fail, I did that for Ratchet and Clank. I did that. I played God of War 1, but not all the way through. And you know, my passion for God of War 2018 led me to like the trilogy of God of War 1, 2, and 3, which are some of my favorite games of all time now. So I was going to use that same logic here for the Atelier games and for Atelier Ryza. But, you know, it's on sale. It's on sale for like 20 or 30 bucks, like the first game of the trilogy. I'm like, I am not going to have the time to play one of these games, let alone a whole trilogy. And it's YUMIA comes out in March, and it'll probably have a launch discount on like Green Man Gaming or something like that. I'll wait. And it looks like, so the reason I was so excited about this was because the Nintendo Direct reveal looked really cool and interesting tonally from what I expect of an Atelier game. And didn't seem as like cozy, semi-crafty, semi-whatever, like house building. Of course, there's fucking house building now. They announced, the producer, I think, there's a producer, not the director, announced that there's going to be like a settlement building thing. Of course there is, but I just, hopefully it's optional. But the Nintendo Direct, you know, the footage looked a little rough, and the fact that it's going to be on PC and on modern consoles, it looks awesome, and I can't wait to check it out. I'm a little scared of like the crafting system because he really hyped it up as being like complex and crazy. I'm hoping it's like a easy to play, difficult to master or whatever type of thing. But the character design is less egregious than some of them in the past. She seems really cool. She has like the Bayonetta heels going on. But not as much of the rest of the crassness that goes along with the series, so I feel like I won't be embarrassed playing this game. The story seemed really cool in the Nintendo Direct, and then this just seemed like a great deep dive that had me ready to play it on modern hardware. So, exciting. I'm going to hold strong and make this my first game in the series, and then we'll see. And then luckily this Rune Factory game, unrelated to this showcase, but since we're talking about Rune Factory, they have like a spin-off coming as well, so next year I'm going to be a cozy gamer, I guess. But we'll see. So Atelier YUMIA, Jesus, is game number 2. And game number 1, so we have a multiplayer game, a cozy, semi-crafting, semi-whatever, not quite waifu RPG. And the final game is a survival horror game. That looked pretty rough when we first saw the reveal at, I believe it was Game Awards, but has really shape-shifted its way into my heart and is day one is already pre-ordered the day one edition. So that is the game SLITTERHEAD, if I haven't said that already, from the director of the Silent Hill 1 and 2, potentially 3. And it was a deep dive that was like cool and all, and it kind of like talked about things that we already knew, but most importantly, it showed a lot more stable gameplay, stable frame rate. Looks beautiful. It looks like the creativity of like a PS3 game with like, to me, modern day visuals, maybe like PS4 quality visuals, but like it looks awesome. It looks like it will run well. It doesn't look that scary. It looks super creative, and I just want to reward that. I really love like the enemy design, and it's like an unintentional spiritual successor to Ghostwire Tokyo that we'll never get because Microsoft hates fun, joy, and happiness. Not just Microsoft, but also Bethesda's owner, ZeniMax. You know, the fact that we'll still get Hi-Fi Rush, but we probably won't get Ghostwire Tokyo 2 is so frustrating to me. But this is the closest thing I'll get for right now, and it's so funny. It's like Ghostwire Tokyo mixed with the promise of Watch Dogs Legion, which I haven't fully played, I will admit, but like the concept of being able to control any NPC is fascinating, and I'm just curious to see how it like how it all works. If there's like a story that's intelligible at all, and just I think that the design looks so great. So I pre-ordered the day one edition. I think it was like it's like $60, so it's like $10 more than the $50 digital release, but it comes with the audio CD soundtrack, which has beautiful artwork on it, and then it comes with the art book. And honestly, as just that alone, like as long as the game is somewhat solid, it's between like a 6 and a 7 out of 10. It'll be worth it for me, and it's something I want to have and like flip through and like really be inspired by the team's artwork and the team's like direction. You know, even if it doesn't completely blow me out of the water, but you know, this could be something that ends up being $30, you know, in a couple months, but it could not. So better safe than sorry, and it gives me something to look forward to in November in terms of games. So that is my November game, and it is my #1 game of the show, Slitterhead. Who knew that Slitterhead would get me? But it looks awesome, and fingers crossed that the performance is there. You know, if it needs some work, I can always wait. I have other games to play in the meantime, but I want to have that art book. I want to have that audio CD, apparently. So, all right, yeah. So honorable mentions we talked through, and then we got FRAGPUNK. I'm signed up for the beta. ATELIER, YUMIA. I'll be watching some of the coverage of some of the other awesome, you know, gaming YouTubers, JRPG YouTubers, Switch YouTubers, and Slitterhead. Yeah, I'll be playing a spooky game in November, which is great. So. Thanks so much for checking out my impressions of this slightly late reaction to the Tokyo Game Show announcements. And there's definitely other stuff I missed. I tried to flip through, like, were there other showcases? Honestly, this was small enough scope for me to just make a video out of and just kind of talk through some of these awesome announcements. I really, really hope that next time we see Threads of Time, it's truly that blow us out of the water game that I think it has the potential to be, but also I have no idea who this team is and like what's going on, but fingers crossed. So yeah, if you like this, check out some of the other videos. Keep an eye out for the Checkpoint, I guess, podcast. Check out Checkpoint Show that's coming up every Friday. And yeah, drop in the comment like what games you're looking forward to, whether it was in Tokyo Game Show or not. Are you a multiplayer person? Have you bought skins on Overwatch? Be honest, and I'll let you know. If you're honest with me, I'll be honest with you if I end up getting any My Hero skins, but we'll see. Until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks so much for checking this out. Later.